Hey friends, on today's episode, I'm going to share with you 5 hacks for organizing your fabrics. Stay tuned. If you're anything like me, you love fabrics and you probably buy more than what you actually need. But that's another problem, and we won't even talk about that. But we love fabrics, and so one of the problems is, how do we organize these fabrics when you have so many of them? And I am right in that same boat with you if you're struggling with that as well. So I've come up with some interesting ways to organize your fabrics and also to have them be part of your decor in your studio, wherever that might be. And so let me share with you 5 ways that I'm organizing my fabrics that makes it a little better in my studio. So the first way that I organize my fabrics is just by simply hanging them on the wall. And I'll hang my samples there. I'll cut out squares that I love of fabrics. You can organize these by color scheme if you want, or by pattern. They can be really an inspiration piece, and you see how I've done it on my wall. This is right above my sewing machine that I have, and I just hang them on the wall, and I rotate these fabrics. When I get something new in, or I'm really inspired by a certain fabric, I will change it out and hang it there, and I just use a little thumbtack, and I push it right into my wall. Yes, there are holes all in that wall, which I can totally fill in if I ever wanted to, but it's just a way that I can use my fabrics as decor and also keep them in front of my eyes, so that when I have an idea for a project that I want to work on, they're right there for me. Okay, another way to organize my fabrics is simply by hanging them on an old fence. So I got this at an antique mall, I think for 40 or 50 bucks years ago, and I knew I wanted to use it as some decor. So I just basically take old-fashioned, clothes drying clips and hang my sample fabric. So this, again, my samples rotate. You can do it by color scheme or by groupings on this, but I'm always on the lookout for something like this. I also bought years ago some old tobacco drying racks that I found at an antique mall way up in Missouri, and I think I brought 3 or 4 of them home with me, not knowing what I would do, but then I cut out tiny little scraps and I actually hang those on my wall too. So always be on the lookout for something a little creative and a way to use it as decor, and also storing your fabrics there. Now, another way that I organize my fabrics when I have them on a bolt is in a trash can. Now, I use a new trash can, and this is kind of an old-fashioned looking trash can that I got at my local hardware store, but I simply just roll them up on that bolt and stick them in that trash can, and they're easy to see, but they look great for decor as well. They look great in photos and photo shoots, but this is just a very simple way that I'll organize my fabrics when they are on a bolt. Now, a bookshelf is a great way to display your fabrics. I have all my ethnic textiles. I just simply fold them up, and I've layered them on different shelves on this, along with some paint and other things like that. But all of my really great ethnic embroidered fabrics all go on this bookshelf. Another idea would be if you had an armoire. You can get a lot of old armoires on Craigslist and Marketplace, sometimes really cheap, and you can paint that armoire and you can fold up your fabrics and put them inside there as well. And finally, one of my most favorite ways to organize my fabrics and store them away so I don't see them is inside filing cabinets. Now, filing cabinets are some of the cheapest things that you can get on Marketplace and Craigslist and local thrift stores. They always have old filing cabinets. And I've taken this one and wallpapered it, and I've got a blog on this. I'll put in a link in the description below if you want to read how I wallpapered this. But I've also have other ones in my studio that I've actually decoupaged with fabric on the top. I've hung some pom-pom trim on some of them. You may be able to see it in the back of this photo, back behind these chairs, where I have a line of my filing cabinets, and I try to store my fabrics in here by color scheme. So I have a pink and red drawer. I've got a yellow and orange and red, yellow and orange drawer. I've got a green drawer, and so on. And so I have all of my fabrics just kind of folded up in here, and stored away. And these are all my leftover scraps. So once I use something off of the bolt and it's not big enough to go back on a bolt, or let's say I'm running out of room in that trash can, I will fold them up and actually put them in these filing cabinets. So if any of my fabrics end up with wrinkles, I use a very simple formula, a wrinkle release formula that I get from my grocery store. And once I put that fabric on my chair, I use the wrinkle release and it gets rid of any wrinkles. I would love to know if you have any other hacks for organizing fabrics, because I'm always on the lookout for more. So please put them in the description below. I have several blogs you might be interested in, as well as a former YouTube episode on a studio tour. So you may want to check that out. If you like this episode, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about my storage solutions for fabrics, and I would love to know yours. Until next week, friends, I'll see you soon.